Okay, I'm recording now, so. Okay. Adding items. And then once we're in the truck, we guess we can go over what all the items do.
Alright.
Okay, full house. Alright.
Everything's in and ready to go?
Yep. So we're gonna ready up and start. We're on our way to Edgefield. I went to Tanglewood, but I don't want to like recreate 15,000 lobbies like for Tanglewood Amateur, so. She and I like to play with the scene icon. Yeah, so if it's loading really slow like this, don't be alarmed. Sometimes it just takes a while to load, especially the larger maps. Seeing up to like 5 minutes. Like she tends to load in very, very slow. This is a game you definitely want to have it on your solid state drive. Mine's on my hard drive. It's not even on my solid state, but it's a pretty fast hard drive. Read rate speed. So this is the truck. This is what it looks like when your whole entire party's not here. Nothing will fill out until your entire party's here. So this is where all your items would go. This is your objectives. The key would be here. You could use this computer here to look at the cameras. So you can switch to cameras by clicking this mouse, and then to change it from infrared to regular, you click the keyboard.
Check the equipment and get set up before investigating.
Okay.
And remember to check the whiteboard for help.
Okay, you want to go over items first?
Got the intel. Looks like this is going to be a tough one. We've had reports of violence.
Oh.
And it looks like they left in a hurry.
Sorry, I lag.
What? Are you like? You want to go over items first?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Well, I guess the first item is sanity pills, or I guess we should mention what sanity is. So,
Oh, yes.
what the fuck?
Did you just get an Amber Alert?
Yes. Oh no. Oops.
Let's see how many things can interrupt us in the first 5 minutes.
Oh, I know.
Maybe we should start over here. Start with the key. We can't go anywhere without the key.
Last time I recorded, I had like 15 incidents happening at once because our server filled up. Okay, so that was the front door key. You need a key before you get in. Up here is the timer. On professional, it starts at 0. There is 5 minutes on amateur, 2 on intermediate. So the ghost can't aggro until it reaches 0.
It can get angry. It just can't attack you.
Yeah. It definitely gets angry at me because I start cussing and say its name as soon as I walk in the door. So
precisely.
Yeah. So, anyways, with Team Sanity, each person, they have 100%. Depending on which oh my god, difficulty level it is, it drains faster.
And which ghost?
Yeah, and if you witness certain events, it goes down by a lot more. So, like, professional obviously drains it far faster than amateur and intermediate. I think a ghost event, it drops your sanity by like 20% on professional. I mostly play professional, so I only know like professional numbers. Like using the Ouija board normally is 10% unless it's a demon. A failed Ouija board response is 40% instantly. Like I said, ghost event I think is like 20. Using the voodoo doll is like 6%. I think it's 7% per minute being in the dark on professional unless it is a Ure, in which case it would be 14%. So that's a good way to detect a Ure if you are doing it with no evidence. but you can use sanity pills to restore 40% instantly.
So since we're already over at the wonderful TVs, let's just go through all of them. So above the team sanity is the map for the house, which I believe we're on Edgefield right now. So there's this little wonderful white button on the side that you can change the floors. This little green dot, well,
Oh,
just
sorry.
change it. Why don't you?
Sorry.
This little green square with a lightning bolt, that's where the breaker. There's a breaker on every single map. You can turn it off and on depending on the ghost. The ghost can also turn it off and on.
Yep.
Alright, so then we have sound sensors, which we'll get to what those look like. But you have 4 sensors. If a ghost goes in that area, I believe it's just a ghost. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. But if there's sound in that area, the sensor goes wee, and a little red line fills up the sensor.
It's also
Below
really.
that is total activity.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, like, it's really handy because, like, it actually changes the name sensor 1, 2, 3, and 4 to where the actual sensor is, so you can figure out what the name of the room is based off of that. So sometimes if you ask the Ouija board what room it is, and it says something stupid like classroom 50 or whatever, you can figure out where it is based off of what the sound sensor is. I don't know. Okay.
Yes. Total activity. Basically, how the best way to describe this is how angry the ghost is at the moment, or like what it's doing. If it's slamming doors, if it's appearing, if it appears and it's completely there, like not even a shadow, it'll go to 10. And then you know it's there and it's looking at you and it wants a high five. It also goes to 10 whenever it hunts. So, you want to explain your EMF thing with that? No? Okay.
What? Sorry.
If there's a bunch of jumps
Oh.
with total activity, if there's a bunch of 4-point jumps, normally that means an EMF 5. Yeah. You can also use the total activity to determine who the ghost. If it's a banshee, you can determine which person the banshee is after based on the total activity.
Yeah, so we sometimes like to throw Baguette in there just to see if it's after her. So if it starts jumping up, it's after Baguette. But if she leaves and I go in there and it's like jumping up, then it's me. Else it just like flatlines. That's usually her though.
Yeah, it really is.
Okay, I guess item number 2 is thermometer. Oh, wait. I forgot to actually show how to use the pills. So you pick it up with E, and then you use right click. Yeah.
Please don't right click the pills right now.
I'm not going to. Use G to throw them back down. Okay. Now the thermometer. Pick it up with E, right click to turn it on, and you just aim it, and it gives temperature. Pretty self-explanatory. Usually the
The default setting for the thermometer is going to be in Celsius. You can put it in Fahrenheit if you want, but in Celsius specifically, I know if it gets to 12, you're near the ghost, or possibly in the ghost room if it's in the very beginning. Then you're probably in the ghost room. If it's later in the thing, or later in the game, then you're probably near the ghost. So you can use that to find the ghost. When it gets under 12, you pretty much know you found the ghost. And then if for Celsius it goes into 0 or negative, then it's nicely freezing.
Yeah, freezing temperatures is one of the 6 evidences. So it's pretty handy, but we mostly just use it to find the room early on because you can detect freezing temperatures because you can see your breath. Okay. Okay. So I always like to start out with the thermometer. Thermostat, whatever. Okay, next item is a glow stick. You pick it up, and then you press right click to turn it on, and then you rave. No, not really. The UV light. The short.
It can be used as a UV light, but you can also throw it on the floor to check for footprints, especially after salt has been put down, and that's one of the ways you can determine what ghost it is, or what ghost it's not.
Yeah, every ghost leaves green footprints except for a wraith, because they fly, but they get pissed off if they walk through salt. However, this has a lot shorter range, and I think on the prison update, you can't actually use it to find fingerprints anymore. I don't know if that's a bug or what, but you definitely cannot find fingerprints with the UV light anymore. Or with the glow stick. You have to actually use the UV light. Okay, you want to go over spirit box?
Sure. So, well, you have to pick it up. It doesn't help if I pick it up. So for Spirit Box, you use E to pick it up. You'll use E to pick up everything. Right click to make it do a wonderful sound, and you get wonderful frequencies. Fun little tad bit. It actually only goes so low, and then it goes back up, and it goes back and forth. And I didn't know that until a couple days ago. But you can ask it questions like, "Where are you? How old are you? Are you here? Are you friendly?" And it'll respond. The responses for "Are you here?" tend to be far, away, close, next, or here. For
Behind.
how old are you, it's, oh yeah, also behind. Then for how old are you, it's adult, child, old. I don't think I've heard anything else.
I've heard kid.
Are you friendly? Oh yeah, kid. For everything else, for the are you friendly, it tends to be die, death, kill, hurt, catch, hate, attack, all of just, normal things you would expect from a friendly ghost.
Yeah, I think it also used to say leave, but it used to only ever say the E part, so it's like a huge meme. That spirit boxes only say E. I don't know. I've never heard it do that because I started after they patched that. Oh, but
Yeah,
to actually talk to the ghost, you have to hold down B for vicinity chat. It will, I think, respond with B broadcast, which is your walkie-talkie, but I mostly just use B. Turn it back off again, you can press right click. But also, if you pick it up while it's on, and then you pick it up with another item picked up, it will still be on, but it will be shut up because it's annoying. So handy trick, but it'll still work. Yeah.
Impressive. So with that specifically, the spirit box is probably one of the things you have to watch out for, because on this wonderful board over here of objectives, which we probably should have gone over, like, not right now, you'll see, of course, the normal objectives. 2 through 4 will always change, and then down at the bottom it gives us a name, and then if it's an alone ghost or an everyone ghost. If it's an alone ghost, you're gonna need one person in the room with the spirit box if you want it to work. Otherwise, you can have a whole party in there. Bring grandma.
It also likes it when the light's out.
Yes, I don't think spirit box works if the light's on at all, unless the ghost turns it on. Then I think it might. But with the objective board, the fun little objective board. Of course, the first objective will always be discovering what ghost you have. And specifically for this one, we have salt, which we'll get to in a little bit. Ghost event, which is it appearing or pretty much just appearing or whispering in the ears of us, or capturing a photo of it.
Yeah, the first objective is 50 experience points, and the second one is 150 experience points. I don't think 3 or 4 give you any XP, but you definitely want to do objective 2 if you want to level up. It also has the ghost's name, so it will get a... If you say their name singly, like a good 10 seconds before you talk on the spirit box, you're most likely to get a better response. And if you talk on the spirit box and it recognizes that you're talking through it, it will say nothing detected if the ghost, nothing detected if, yeah, like that, if the ghost isn't saying anything. The ghost isn't in the truck, so it's not saying anything. Okay. Photo camera.
Oh, you want to meet? Yes,
Take it up.
that's photo camera.
Take
So
it.
the photo cameras, you get 3 of them if you actually put them in. And with them, you get 5 shots for each, which is interesting because the book only has spots for 10 of those shots. So for each picture, it's just a right click to take a picture. Please don't take a picture right now.
I'm not.
It's a right click to take the picture, and the picture will actually remain on the camera until you take another picture. but they will also show up in the book. Pictures that count for money and XP are like a picture of the ghost, interactions, like them throwing things at you, slamming doors, or writing in books or something like that. Another thing is fingerprints that are on the doors, and just different things like that.
Also the bone, which we'll cover later. But yeah, it's really fun when you can take a picture of the ghost and it's the naked one and you get his butt cheeks and then it's on your camera for like 10 minutes.
Okay, I'm proud of that throw. Sorry.
Mine was a total fail. So yeah, this is also the other starting equipment specifically for the fact that I like to try to look for the bone early on. Yeah. So, parabolic mic. This looks like a giant satellite dish. It takes up half your screen. You turn right click to turn it on, and it shows sound. And since she's stomping around, it's a 4.5. But it's good if you're like, say, in an asylum or something, and you want to find the ghost. It's good to detect like which kind of hallway or which direction the ghost is in. Other than that, nobody really uses it.
It can also give you the exact spawn point of the ghost.
Yeah, I like never use it. It's probably more handy than I give it credit for, but yeah. So if it says anything other than 0, that means there's sound in that direction. You could also turn stuff on generally, like this, by clicking on it with left click. It's sat down. Okay, EMF reader. This bad boy has 5 levels. 1 is the default. Turn it on, right click. That means nothing's going on. 2 and 3 generally means it's interacting with something. 4 is usually if it's appearing. 5 will only show up if it's a certain type of ghost, as it is one of the 6 evidences. That's also usually when the 4-point jumps will happen here. You can also lay it down and then point a camera at it and you can watch it from the van if you're a giant pansy like me.
Or if you've already lost the majority of your team.
Also, yes. Also, I'm crouching with C in case you didn't know. I forgot to go over the controls at the beginning like a ding-dong. I did in the last video, but nothing fun. Alright, you want to go over crucifix and smudge sticks?
Alright, so next we have the crucifixes, which are probably the best thing in the game, not gonna lie to you. Especially if you're not on prison. Crucifixes, each crucifix will prevent 2 hunts from the ghosts, no matter what ghost it is. There are some ghosts, I believe it's banshees, that are afraid of the crucifixes. It is a banshee that are afraid of the crucifixes and will be less aggressive when there's a crucifix on the ground. But once the crucifix has prevented 2 hunts, it will disappear. Crucifixes also, weirdly enough, they have a small radius. I forgot the exact numbers. You probably know them.
I think it's 1 point... or, no, it's 3 meters.
But they have a radius, so sometimes if you're in bigger rooms, you could be off a little bit and it could still spawn. There have been some times where people have said it works when it's in your hand. I've never seen it happen. I believe that's just a glitch.
No, I definitely... that happened to me on prison the other day when I was playing without you. I'm sorry. Cheated on you.
Oh, you're fine.
Oh, but yeah, it's...
Yeah, you always do.
It's 3 meters unless it's a banshee, and then it's 5 meters.
So then we also got these wonderful smudge sticks. You should probably pick one up because they can't see my screen. So smudge sticks, I mean, I always thought they were used for art, but apparently that was not correct at first. But basically, you light them with a lighter, and they have little smoky things, and you go around near the ghost, where the ghost is. She has birds.
Alright.
But you go around where the ghost is and smudge it, and it prevents a hunt for 90 seconds for all ghosts except spirits, I believe.
Yeah.
Am I correct about that? And for them, it's 3 minutes. And so they won't hunt for that amount of time. It's a good way to tell what ghost you're dealing with.
Yeah, it's good, sir, if you're trying to prevent a hunt while you are trying to get like a picture of the ghost or just piss it off for interaction pictures. In order to actually use it, you have to have like a lit lighter in your hand, and then you press F. So like the lighter has to be like in your menu lit. This. So then you.
Don't accidentally set things on fire.
And then you switch to it, and then you press F. That's how you use the lighter. You just press right click. You can also use
Yes.
I think you could also, like, if you're holding the lighter, you can just click it. Click smudge sticks, it will light while it's set down. I think smudge sticks only last for like 15 seconds. And you need to be within a certain radius of the ghost or the ghost room in order for it to work. You could also use it during a hunt, and it will stop chasing you for 5 seconds.
The more you know.
And it'll go after somebody else. Okay. Guess I already told you about the lighter.
Yes. So now we're onto the candles, which are weirdly enough probably my favorite thing. Don't know why. I never use them. But basically, candles will stay lit for 2 minutes once you light them. You can relight them, so it's not like a big deal or anything.
That's not.
Basically, they keep your sanity up if you have them. So that's really, really nice, especially when you're dealing with a Yuri or another ghost like that. Then once you know if you're just going for optional objectives and you already know the ghost, then you can keep a candle on you, but the candle has to be in your hand in order to keep your sanity higher. You also only get light from the candle when it's in your hand, but it can remain lit if you pick it up. If I can learn how to pick up a candle and you move it out of your hand and then bring it back, it does still weirdly stay lit, but you just have no source of light otherwise.
Yeah, same with the lighter. Lighter stays lit too, which is weird, so you put it in your pocket lit, and it doesn't catch your hand. They also, when you can't put them down with F, weirdly enough, because you usually use F to set stuff down. But it doesn't work, so you have to throw it, and it never sets up straight. Unless you throw it at a wall.
You can also, all the candles in the houses or prisons or wherever you find candles on the maps, you can also light those, which is fairly interesting.
Yeah. Gives good ambiance. Okay. Here is salt. Iodized salt. You don't see the little girl with the raincoat. I don't think it's that brand, but so you get 3 charges of salt. You press F to set it down. Not gonna do it because that would be a waste. It is usually an objective up on here on the board, but it's also good for getting footprints. Said if you have a UV light, it will show green footprints. If it doesn't, then it's probably gray. So it's good for determining ghost type or to rule out a ghost type if it is you're doing like no evidence or something.
So after, our wonderful, making a mess of everything, we have different sensors up on the top row. So these little blue things with the red and green lights, that's a motion sensor, and I don't know if you can place it in here. That would be cool if you could. Anyway, basically they show up on the map, and you can see if a ghost or a person or a dead teammate goes through it. It tends to also be a optional objective, so that's pretty cool. But it really helps when you don't, when you know the general area of the ghost, but maybe you just don't know where it's most active.
Yeah. It'll show as like a little rectangle, and it'll be red until something walks through it. Then it's you place it on the wall. You think F. Can't place it.
And you can repick it up just by pressing E.
Yeah.
you can describe sound sensors. I don't use them.
Okay. So sound sensors are light things, which are, you put them on the wall using F, just like a motion sensor, but they will determine what the ghost is, or where any sound is coming from. It will show up as like a giant yellow square on the map, and it will show you what rooms it is detecting. So if you don't know where the ghost is precisely, like I could put like maybe 2 or 3 here on the main floor, and you can tell if it's on the main floor because it will show the room down here, and it will shoot the bar up by how much sound it is. So it's also good for trying to figure out what the rooms are called for Ouija board purposes. You want to do infrared or me?
You can do it.
Okay. Infrared sensors, a little bit underappreciated, if you ask me. Person on the wall.
They really are.
Just like normal. The best way I've seen people use these effectively is on larger maps with large corridors. What you can do is you place it closer to the ground or whatever. You put it a certain distance away. So you can put 2, and then you time yourself walking through it. And then if you let yourself get hunted, you can time how quickly the ghost goes through it to see whether or not it is a revenant. Revenant runs twice as fast. Because you can outrun every ghost but a revenant, so if you're trying to figure out if it's a revenant or not, and you don't want to get too close to figure out, you can try to see by how fast it goes through the sensors, because they will light up when anything passes through them, ghost or person. So, it's very, very handy, like I said, for timing the ghost. It's also kind of a permanent nightlight if you glitch it, which probably will be bashed eventually. But you place one on the wall, and then you like step in it to trigger it, and then you pick it up while you have something in your hand, and it will stay turned on. I think is how it works. I did it last night. A couple tried, but
Yes, you do.
so it stays kind of turned on. It's not very much light, but it's enough to help you navigate. If you're playing without flashlights like I was last night.
Yes. So next we have the video cameras, which there's sort of 3 things with when you say video cameras that you think of. There's the video cameras that she's now holding in her hand, which you can basically put down somewhere. So if you try to put it on the ground, you can use your left click to rotate it. Right click turns it. Yeah, right. Oh yeah, hold it down. Well, I mean it works if you don't. Right click to turn it on and off, and then F to place it, or you can press G and just throw it. I suggest not pressing G. So then also with video cameras, you can put them on the lovely tripods by hovering at the tripod and pressing F. And then to pick up the tripods, you would press E on the nice little column. I guess is the easiest way to say it. Then to just drop the tripods, it's just G.
It will always face out the direction you're facing. So.
Yes. So also, along with video cameras, there's the headset cams, whatever. Head-mounted cams, there you go. You wear these on your head so then your wonderful teammates can watch you die. Or if you're in the room and there's one person in the room already and we don't have a camera, we can go ahead and use your camera for ghost orbs, which is one of the evidences. So we can use this wonderful computer thing over here to, if you click the mouse, you'll scroll through the cams. Then if you click the keyboard, it turns on and off night vision. So normally you can use this to get ghost orbs, and on bigger maps, there's cameras already in the house, or not the houses, but the maps. So you can actually sit here and look through all of them before you actually go in.
Oh, another wonderful thing about the head camera is that it doesn't count for an inventory slot, because you normally only get 3, unless you wear the head cam, then you still get 3.
You can also take them off by looking at the hook and pressing F.
And you can also turn these video cameras on by left-clicking them while they're on the ground. There's a tiny glitch, at least for me, where when I put the tripod down, the camera turns off, but it looks like it's on, so I have to turn it off and on again to get it to register. I don't know why it does it to me. It seems to only do that for me. I think the game hates me. Okay, flashlights. There will look like there's 3 different types of flashlights. These are just the weak ones. These are the basic one you get free at the very beginning. Not very strong, and they suck. You can use them while not equipped by pressing T. Turn it on and off. T as in Tom. Yeah. You can only have one flashlight in your hand at a time. These are the strong flashlights. They got the red on them. These are much preferable. These are usually the first thing you want to buy when you start getting money, because they are so much better in every way. Again, it's T. These are UV lights. They are the tiny ones with the little ridges. They shoot purple. You can actually have a flashlight and a light at the same time. It's just harder to see the part once you turn the flashlight off. But you can technically still see fingerprints. So fingerprints are another one of the acceptances. You'll see handprints, usually on doors, on windows. They like smacking the windows. They also leave like thumbprints on light switches, which are really hard to detect once you turn the flashlight off. But they'll show green, like neon green. And with flashlights and UV lights, but not glow sticks, but just flashlights and UV lights, they blink like this when it's in a hunt. So that's a good way to tell if you're being hunted, as well as any lights that are on now. But half the time it like trips the breaker during the hunt. So it's just good to have handy to detect whether you're in a hunt if you're not carrying a flashlight for some reason. They also have way better detectability on fingerprints than these, and obviously they kind of go for a distance. So you don't have to be like literally on the door like the glow stick. Want to go ghost book?
Yeah. So then we have the wonderful ghost books. So they're just little like books thingies. I always get these mixed up because sometimes there's open books in the maps, and so it sort of confuses me on which one's ours and which one's not ours. So for these, you can look at the ground, or honestly, you could place them on the ceiling. Oh, you can. You can place them on the ceiling. Hold on.
What just fell on my face?
They don't stay. Well, I didn't say they stay. I said you could place it on the ceiling, not that it would stay. But you press F to place it. Can you rotate it? No, you can't. It just, you move your body and it moves. You can also walk around with it and the ghost will write in your hand. If you want it to get, if you want to make it stand up straight so you can face a camera towards it and possibly get a flashlight on it, then you look straight up and just a droppy drop. And it normally lands straight. Ghosts do love to knock your book over and not ride in it though, so that's pretty rude of them.
They also like to just throw it around, like it'll look like they're going like that, and then you can take a picture of it. It counts as interaction. Also, when they actually write in it, it counts as interaction. So get a picture of it. They'll write like "can't run," "die die die." They'll draw like pentagrams and other edgy crap in it.
They're normal. But they can also write. They can write in your hand, which is sometimes freaky because you won't notice it. You won't notice it until you drop it, or somebody else puts their light on it, and you're just like, "Oh, it's nicely haunting me." That's great.
Very unsettling. So yeah, and then obviously we're gonna have tripods. They're useless without the camera unless you want to meme and put a salt pile on each tripod foot, and then you put the glow sticks in the middle as an offering to the ghost before you leave. I don't know. It's called a tripod.
I'm not the one with experience in this. I was nicely in the prison being hunted while they were offering, I'm pretty sure, my soul to the ghost.
Yeah.